Hello, everybody. This is TechHut, and this one, what we're going to be doing is checking out probably the very best option for remote desktop access. If you're looking for an alternative to something like TeamViewer, AnyDesk, and so forth, RustDesk is arguably your very best option. And you can see here, even on these little slideshow, it's very similar to something like TeamViewer, where you can punch in just an ID, password, and easily remote connect to any desktop and control it as if you're there. Very similar to like over here. This is VLC, which is the tool, or no, VNC, sorry, which is the tool built into Proxmox for something very similar. Now, for my specific use case, I don't want to have to dive into Proxmox. I just want to run RustDesk on a native client. And what we're going to do in this video is set up our very own self-hosted relay and signal server for this, so it is going to be very quick. Which, speaking of that, if we go over to the RustDesk website here, go over to pricing, we're going to be setting up the free one here, $0 a month, not a bad price. But they do have higher tiers if you want to either use some of these more kind of business focused features or support the product or have an actual web UI. We're not going to have a web UI for this, but we will be able to set up our very own server services, so we're not using their kind of free public relays. And the beautiful thing is, since I have a NetBird routing peer on my network, this is going to work just about anywhere in the world as long as I'm connected to my NetBird client. Now, before we get too far, we need to thank the sponsor of today's video, and that is Opera. Tab Islands is the standout here. You group tabs by project, color code them, name them, and collapse them when they're not in use. For example, I got one island here for my home lab docs, one for Reddit threads, one for GitHub issues, and another for articles. Way cleaner than 50 tabs spread across the entire top of your window. And when I want to jump back into a project, it's there ready for me. When two pages need a side-by-side, you can do it within the same window. All you do is drag the tab down, split screen handles up to 4 tabs at once, so I get on my docs, the comparison page, readme, and the tutorial, all open together without flipping back and forth. There's also a built-in player that pulls right out of the sidebar. Works with Spotify, YouTube Music, Apple Music, basically all of them, so I could keep my music controls handy without a dedicated tab eating up space. Opera AI is a cool little addition. There is no dedicated extension, no extra tab, no account needed. You just click on the button and it works within the context of whatever page you're on. So I can pull up a long article and ask it the key steps, or grab data straight from the page I'm reading, all for free. So if you want to check out Opera, it's going to be the first link down below, so go ahead and click on that to get started today. So now we are back here on the pricing page. We're going to go with this free one right here. So if I click on get started, it's just going to take us over here to the docs, and there's a couple different ways to actually install this. Their recommended way is going to be with Docker, which if we go down here to the Docker Compose, or if I click check Docker, we should be able to see it right here. It's going to run 2 different containers. It's going to be the same image, but it's going to have a different command when it fires up. I got this page right here, which is almost a bit above my pay grade when it comes to explaining what's going on here. But if I scroll down, you can see HBBS is going to be our signaling server. HBBR is going to be the actual relay server. Signaling server kind of handles the initial communication between the 2 devices, and it does try to establish a direct peer-to-peer connection so you could do the control and video frame data between the 2 without having to go through the relay server. But if it can't hole punch, it's going to use that relay server, and all the data will have to go through this separate point, and that is kind of why I like to have a self-hosted relay server. So then if something happens with the hole punching, it's not pinging up to some other random server that they host and back to my machine that is in the same building. You know what I mean? So of course, Docker right here is the recommended way to go about it, and it is pretty simple. I'll link to their documentation here because there are going to be some configuration stuff, but what I am going to do is set this up in Proxmox, and I am going to be using a Proxmox helper script for RustDesk server. This, I'm pretty sure, functions very similar to their installation script, which if we go down to method 2, install your own server using systemd, or just direct systemd services. So you could also do that right here if you want to, if you already have an LXC or a VM that you want to like dedicate specifically to this, or if you just hate Docker for some reason. But what I'm going to do is go over here to the Proxmox helper script. Now there are a few different things that we're going to want to do when it comes to the setup, and this was linked just right here on this page. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this script file. We're going to head over to Proxmox, and I am going to go to the main shell of this node and drop on in this command. Now from here, I like to go advanced. I'm going to give it a little bit more juice. Unprivileged is going to be fine for this. Let's give ourselves a root password. Container ID 100 is actually going to be fine. RustDesk server looks great. Disk size, let's just crank this up. Let's double it to a whole 4 gigs, 2 cores, and a gig of RAM. Just like that. The bridge is going to be fine, and basically for everything else, we're just going to keep it as is. Let's go down, no keys, and no. So going with all of the defaults, and that looks good. So let's go yes, and let this spin up. It gave me the app default location right here, but if we go over to this guide, we'll kind of be able to see where that is. I'm going to grab the systemctl status command just so we could check this when we actually dive on in. So let's go back over here. I will ignore this for now. And there we go. We have our URL with our port here as well, but we are going to open up our new Linux container here, go over to the console, log on into it with the right capitalization, and we'll check to see if that service is running, which it is. So that's awesome. Now, one thing we're going to want to grab is the actual keys, the security keys to connect to this. So I'm just going to run a quick ls into the var lib RustDesk server directory. And we got a few things. We got a SQLite database, and we got our IDs right here. So if I just go ahead and run a cat command, so let's switch this out to cat and do id.pub, hit enter. We can see the actual ID here. If I do a little echo, makes it on one line so it's easier to copy, but we're going to need that. So anywho, what we're going to do is open up RustDesk. So I'm going to open this up. We're going to get rid of this because we're going to switch everything to a different server. So what we can do is right now you see ready for faster connections. Please set up your own server. We already did. So what we're going to do is go over here to the settings. Now, I believe that this is under network. If we unlock the network settings, right here for ID and relay server, we're going to have some options. So first, our ID server, we're just going to use the local IP address for that container that we just spun up. And then for the key here, I'm going to grab this. So let's give that a copy and then drop it on into key and then click on OK. And now it says successful. If we go back over here to home, you can see now it just says ready without the notice of if you want faster connections, blah, blah, blah. Now what I'm going to do, what I want to remote connect into is this Proxmox VM right here. So what I'm going to need to do, it's a pretty simple process. RustDesk. One of the reasons why this is so awesome is it's cross-platform. And when they say cross-platform, they mean it. They support just about everything. So we're just going to go ahead and download this for Windows. We're going to open it up. And there we go. We have RustDesk installed. Now, again, what we're going to want to do is go over here to the network settings and then change this to the same stuff we just did on our other machine. And I'm having to type this in manually, which is not the most fun thing to do in the world. Let's copy that just in case if I screwed up. And let's hit OK. Hopefully, OK, successful. Nice. And then you could see it's ready right there. Now, if we go over to Discover, you could see we have my Fedora desktop there. And I also have my Mac, but it's showing up as unavailable because that is offline. I'll delete that and set that up later. But what I actually want to do is go ahead and close this out, because this is my local client that I'm running on this desktop, and I want to go to Discover. I think it's a Linux client problem, but we're just going to need to get our Windows ID here so then it can discover it. It's weird auto discovery worked on this end, but not the other end. But this is going to be 285504724. And if I go ahead and click connect, it's still going to ask for a password. Or over here, we need to give it permissions, so we'll allow. And I can accept and elevate directly from here, or I should be able to enter the password. You can see a one-time password there. So E39PJW and OK. You can see we have control and it's fairly snappy. Open that up, that opens. I mean, it's Windows. It's not going to be as snappy as I would like it to be. But if we go over here, we do have some additional settings. So we have the option here to have some control actions so we could transfer files, view the camera, bunch of different things here. Right here under the Visual settings here, we can set it to something like scale adaptive, for example. So it's just going to kind of stretch out, scale custom, and you just kind of configure this how you want. So I'm just going to keep it on adaptive so it just stays kind of stretched out. We could go down to image quality. Since I'm on the same network, let's go with good image quality so it's nice and sharp. And then, of course, we could change the codec as well if you'd like to. And there's all kinds of other settings that you'd expect from a piece of software like this, including the ability to record, which is nice. One thing you're going to want to do, let's go ahead and terminate this connection and go back to Proxmox. So we're going to go to this Windows VM here. And what we're going to want to do is go over to security. And then right here, you're going to want to set up a permanent password. So then you can actually have easier access to it without having to try to figure out what the temporary password is if a machine reboots, or give yourself access from the host. So we got a password there. I'm going to need to make it a little stronger. Here we go. Let's hit OK. And then when you connect to it next time, you can just go ahead and use the password, even if the system actually reboots or anything like that. And that was RustDesk. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any other alternatives or anything that you prefer better, please let us know down below. I'm always open to alternatives, suggestions, anything like that. Do subscribe if you like this content. We're going to be coming out with a lot of good stuff in the next couple weeks. And with all that, I do hope you have an absolutely beautiful day and goodbye.